To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. To the Lighthouse is a profound exploration of the Ramsay family's dynamics and their experiences over 10 years, centered around their summer home in the Hebrides. The novel is divided into 3 sections: The Window, Time Passes, and The Lighthouse, each delving into complex themes of existential introspection, the impermanence of life, and the search for meaning. Woolf masterfully employs stream of consciousness to delve deep into the characters' minds, particularly Mrs. Ramsay's nurturing presence and Mr. Ramsay's intellectual obsessions. The narrative reflects on art, memory, and the inevitability of change, showcasing Woolf's pioneering modernist techniques. The lighthouse itself emerges as a potent symbol of aspiration and unreachable goals. Through the juxtaposition of the characters' internal monologues with the passage of time and the subtle shifts in their relationships, Woolf presents a poignant meditation on human connection, loss, and the fleeting moments that define our existence. Let's deep dive into the book. Introduction to the Ramsay family. The novel opens with the Ramsay family spending their summer at their holiday home in the Isle of Skye, Scotland. The family consists of Mr. and Mrs. Ramsay, their 8 children, and several guests. Mrs. Ramsay promises her youngest son, James, a trip to the lighthouse, but Mr. Ramsay and the weather dampen their hopes. This opening sets the stage for the intricate dynamics within the Ramsay family and their interactions with guests, highlighting the contrast between Mr. Ramsay's intellectual rigor and Mrs. Ramsay's empathetic nature. Preparations and plans. During their stay, the household is bustling with preparations for dinner and discussions about visiting the lighthouse. Lily Briscoe, a young painter and guest, attempts to paint Mrs. Ramsay's portrait, symbolizing her struggle with artistic expression. The narrative weaves through the perspectives of various characters, revealing their innermost thoughts and feelings. The anticipation of the dinner party and the planned trip to the lighthouse create a backdrop for exploring personal conflicts and desires. The dinner party. The dinner party is a central event, bringing all characters together. Mrs. Ramsay's efforts to create harmony among the guests underscore her role as the unifying force within the family. The tensions and affections among the characters come to the fore, revealing the complexities of their relationships. Through the dinner conversation, Woolf delves into the characters' psyches, presenting a rich tapestry of human interaction. Time passes. The novel's second section, Time Passes, serves as a bridge, marking a significant temporal leap. The narrative shifts to an omniscient perspective, detailing the changes that occur in the Ramsay household and the surrounding world as World War I rages on. This section is marked by the decay of the holiday home and the passing of significant characters, including Mrs. Ramsay, Prue Ramsay, and Andrew Ramsay, signifying the relentless march of time and the impermanence of life. Loss and absence. With the deaths of key characters, the story reflects on the themes of loss and absence. The Ramsay family and their guests are profoundly affected by the changes that time has wrought. The absence of Mrs. Ramsay is particularly felt, leaving a void in the family's dynamic and in the hearts of those who knew her. This part of the narrative explores how the characters cope with their losses and the shifting sands of their reality. Return to the Isle. Years later, the surviving members of the Ramsay family and a few guests return to the Isle of Skye. Mr. Ramsay, now a widower, is more introspective and vulnerable. The return trip is overshadowed by the memories of those who have passed away, especially Mrs. Ramsay. The characters confront the changes within themselves and their environment, grappling with their pasts and the legacies left behind. The trip to the lighthouse. Despite the passage of time, the promised trip to the lighthouse finally materializes. Mr. Ramsay, James, and Cam embark on the journey, symbolizing a fulfillment of the long-delayed promise. The trip is fraught with emotional undercurrents, as James wrestles with his feelings towards his father and the memories of his mother. The journey to the lighthouse becomes a poignant reflection on family dynamics, and the resolution of long-standing tensions. Lily's revelation. Back at the house, Lily Briscoe returns to her unfinished painting of Mrs. Ramsay. Through her artistic process, Lily contemplates her memories of Mrs. Ramsay and the impact of her presence. In painting, Lily seeks to capture the essence of Mrs. Ramsay and the moment shared before the war. This act of creation serves as a meditative process for Lily, allowing her to reconcile her feelings of loss and her artistic aspirations. The lighthouse reached. As the boat approaches the lighthouse, James and Cam experience a mix of emotions, reflecting on their childhood, their mother's memory, and their complex feelings toward their father. Mr. Ramsay's acknowledgement of James's sailing skills serves as a moment of connection and approval, bridging the emotional gap between father and son. The reaching of the lighthouse symbolizes the attainment of a long-sought goal and the resolution of familial strife. Conclusion and continuity. The novel closes with Lily Briscoe finishing her painting, symbolizing her own attainment of artistic and personal clarity. The narrative comes full circle, with the characters finding peace and resolution in their respective quests. The lighthouse stands as a testament to the enduring human spirit, the complexity of relationships, and the transcendence of art. Through the convergence of the trip to the lighthouse and Lily's completion of her painting, Woolf elegantly ties together the themes of memory, loss, and the search for meaning. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. The nature of time. Woolf explores time as a dual force, both destructive and constructive. The Time Passes section poignantly illustrates how time erodes relationships, lives, and the physical state of the Ramsay summer home, symbolizing the inevitable decay all humans face. Concurrently, time also heals, allowing characters to process their grief and grow. Woolf's innovative narrative structure, which shifts between moments and thoughts seamlessly, underscores the fluidity of time and its impact on human consciousness and the physical world, challenging traditional linear narratives and reflecting on the temporal nature of existence. Human relationships and isolation. The novel delves deeply into the dynamics of human relationships, particularly within the Ramsay family and between their guests. Woolf examines the complexities of marriage, parenthood, friendship, and artistic collaboration, showcasing both the profound connections and the deep-seated isolations that exist within these relationships. Through characters' internal monologues, the reader sees how individuals crave intimacy, yet often remain ensconced in their private worlds, highlighting the paradox of human connectivity, our simultaneous need for others, and our inherent solitude. The search for meaning and transcendence. Characters in the novel are often engaged in a quest for meaning in an indifferent universe. Mr. Ramsay's intellectual pursuits, Mrs. Ramsay's nurturing efforts, and Lily Briscoe's artistic endeavors represent different paths to find purpose and legacy. Woolf suggests that these pursuits are ways to transcend mortality, leaving something enduring behind. The lighthouse itself becomes a symbol of unattainable aspirations, reflecting the characters' desires to exceed their limitations and achieve something lasting, whether through family, intellectual achievement, or art. The role of art and perception. Through Lily Briscoe's experiences as a painter struggling to capture Mrs. Ramsay's essence, Woolf contemplates the role of art in interpreting and preserving life. Art becomes a medium through which the fleeting moments of existence can be both captured and transcended. The novel questions the nature of reality and the ways in which it is perceived and remembered, suggesting that art offers a unique means of understanding and connecting with the world, bridging the gap between subjective experiences and universal truths. Gender roles and expectations. Woolf critiques the societal norms and expectations surrounding gender roles, particularly through the characters of Mr. and Mrs. Ramsay. Mrs. Ramsay embodies the idealized Victorian woman, deeply embedded in her roles as mother and wife, while Mr. Ramsay represents the intellectual man, consumed by his philosophical pursuits. Through their relationship and the contrasting expectations placed upon men and women, Woolf highlights the limitations and constraints imposed by society, questioning the validity and impact of these roles on individual identity and fulfillment. Let's talk about the author. Virginia Woolf, born Adeline Virginia Stephen in 1882, is a seminal figure in modernist literature. Her work is renowned for its innovative use of stream of consciousness and introspective exploration of characters' thoughts and feelings. Woolf was a central member of the Bloomsbury Group, a collective of intellectuals, writers, and artists in early 20th century London. Despite facing mental health challenges throughout her life, Woolf authored numerous essays, novels, and letters that critically examined social issues, feminism, and the human psyche. The Voyage Out was her first novel, showcasing her early experimentation with narrative form. Woolf's legacy as a pioneering modernist and feminist writer endures. Sincere thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, consider taking a moment to subscribe, like, or share the video. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. Regardless, I wish you a great day.